Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Elephant Exposed. I am your host, Mr. TNTBS, CJ Jones, and we're back to give an update to a reaction that we did a few days ago regarding an incident that happened down in Pickens County, Alabama. Today, we're going to be reacting to an interview provided to us by Mr. Micah himself and the interviewer from the ABC local news platform down there. And this is, and in case if you don't know what I'm talking about, this was regarding the viral clip that has went around on social media showing a female police officer having a black man handcuffed down on the hood of her squad car, language exchanged and so forth. And when this was first shared with me, my honest reaction was I thought it was staged. I thought that this can't be real until I actually started seeing other platforms cover it and everything. And then all of a sudden, what I assumed to be was staged or scripted or whatnot turned out to be very, very real. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and let's just go right into this interview.
So, first of all, just how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Just trying to process everything. I'm doing fine.
And so, are you aware that this has gone national? This video?
Yes, man. Like, I've been trying to actually just stay off social media because, like, I don't like seeing the video. Like, it just do something to me. Like, I just can't watch it. Like me personally, like I can watch it, but like with the sound on, no, I can't do it.
So, take me back through what you remember. I mean, from what your attorney said, you were just simply out changing a tire near your home.
Yes, man. Like I was on near my aunt. I was going to pick up my little brother. I always go get him like every on the weekend, whatever. So, but I had a baby shower like the next day, so I told him I was gonna come get him. So when I finally made it down there, like Gordo area coming into a reform, my tire had a real bad blowout. So I was trying to call my aunt, but like I couldn't get in touch with her, so I tried to get the car close as I could to her. So once I got there, I parked and I walked to her house or whatever. I left the car, went and got some tools, told her that I needed a ride to go get a tire or whatever. So and then me and my brother and my co-defendant walked back to the car. So once we got back to the car, I was on the ground changing the tire when the police officer pulled up. So when she pulled up, she was basically like, what you guys doing? We told her we're changing the tires to get out. She checked out the tire, whatever. Yeah.
Now, right here, this is where I'm going to pause the video because now I'm going to begin to do my breakdown as to, and this is, and I'm getting all of my observations and everything, not only from Mr. Micah's testimony, but also a collaboration of other platforms as well. Because when this story began to break out, we was getting everything in bits and in pieces. And me and Mr. Dwayne Stinson, we had some pre-notions as to how this young man's plight happened. And I began to put my speculations out there. And one of those speculations was, how did we even get here? And I knew it in the back of my mind. But as a former police officer and as a person that I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though in the back of my mind, I'm already kind of like bracing for shock, so to speak. So at this point in time, we're not even shocked anymore. This is more or less like, yeah, we knew it. So I'm there. So this was the so-called probable cause that Officer Elmore wrote down in her police report, no doubt. But we're going to dive more into that. So this is what she articulated in her report, the suspicious activity. Let's proceed.
And she she asked for IDs. So me personally, I was like, this not a traffic stop, so why you need an ID? So, but I still gave it to her, trying to be
good job.
So I gave her my ID, and I'm still asking the same question, like,
so
what's the purpose?
There you go. Okay, so here we go. Now we can pause and everything and start to fill in certain gaps. So again, as this story was coming out, people were saying that, words was exchanged. It was, whatever the case may be. Well, words has to be exchanged because the police officer has to at least tell you why they are approaching you or whatever the case may be. So no doubt she came across a young man. He may not, and this is anybody. You don't have to be a scholar to know your basic rights. If you're not committing a crime, it is not a crime to ask or challenge a police officer, to ask them, why do you want such and such? Or why do you feel like you need such and such? And at the same time, whether it was, reluctantly or not, the point is that he surrendered his ID. There is nothing illegal about having an attitude, cursing while complying. None of these things. We're going to hear in the video, or if you've seen the previous video where she says to him, oh, you was a Billy Bad behind, but look at you now, so to speak. Okay. There's nothing illegal for any man or woman to have a nasty attitude towards a police officer. The police officer has one or two choices: continue going on in what they're trying to do, or be just as childish and just as immature and just as unprofessional as that individual, but there's going to be repercussions behind said behavior. And this is why we're here. Let's continue.
So that's when she finally feels some type of way or whatever. So she
exactly
told me to go stand on the back of the car, and I was like, I'm not being
her ego was
so
bruised.
I don't have to do anything. So so
and that's your so-called, also this is where you get your so-called resisting arrest. Because a person can be talking all they want to, but sometimes you get what I call those ego goggles on. Yeah, you saying what you ain't gonna do, but you're really doing it. You're doing it slowly, or you're doing it. Yeah, you're dragging your feet doing it. You're still doing it. And this is and it can kind of fall into the category of passive resistive, but you can't really say it's passive resistive if that person is doing it. They're just not doing it at the speed that you want for them to. And they aren't yes sir, massa, no sir, and buckling down and breaking down. And that's what this officer, you can tell when the full story comes together, you will see that this police officer was just on a big ego trip, a big power trip. Let's continue.
basically it's like so once I told her that or whatever, she said, well, now you are. She grabbed me. I put my hands up or whatever. So
there
I
it
was
is.
standing like between the back door and the driver door, and I was trying to grab my phone so I could turn my camera on and record her. So like once I finally got my camera on, then she tagged me the first time. And she
Boom.
put it in my back on the ground.
So you fell down after being tagged?
Yes, ma'am. I dropped my
Face
phone.
down?
So yes, ma'am. So she
And that's what's not on camera. So before the recording that went viral, picks up, the one that we all see, this is the activity that happened before Mr. Micah's brother, the 17-year-old, started recording. Because mind you, all this stuff is happening kind of quickly. So, we wish that we could turn on instant cameras and so forth and everything to catch the whole entire picture. But thank God, little brother camera, man, he did a great job in covering his brother as much as he could. So where the recording picks up is and where she has him in handcuffs and she has the taser on his back and she puts him on the hood. This is why we was kind of wondering, like, well, first of all, why we are being arrested? Okay, how did we get here? Two, where was the resistance? Because from what we can see, there's no resistance. There's no resisting. There's no resistance. And so even all the way up until that point, nothing of the charges that was put on Mr. Micah is making sense at all. And so now we see. So, now we're starting to hear through the horse's mouth, so to speak. So let's continue to hear him.
Put my hand behind my back so she can start tasing me or whatever. So once she finally gave me the handcuffs, she gave me up on the ground. Well, before that, that's when I told my friend, like, go get my aunt. So he took off running, like when she first started tasing me, and my brother still was standing there. So my brother video started like once she got me off the ground into handcuffs. So when she get me onto the car or whatever, I let her know, like, I got a gun on me. Like, so
there you go. And we heard that.
So let's stop here. You got a legally carried gun.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
you can cancel that.
Oh yeah. I was like, what's the problem? Like, basically, I asked her, why you saying that?
Yes.
Like she didn't want me to talk at all. Basically,
of course she didn't.
I asked her that. That's when she tased me again. So now I'm like, I don't know what's gonna go on. Like, like that. But
I was pretty nervous at that point.
Yeah, I was nervous. Like, I was really not really just nervous for myself, but like I was scared for the people that I was with. Like, I don't really be thinking about myself. Like, I be worried about the people that I be around.
That reminds me of my oldest son, Jalen.
Like,
he has this same personality.
Most about the whole thing.
And how old's your brother?
How old? He's like 17.
17. So he was recording. Were you aware he was recording?
Like, I ain't know he was recording until I like actually leaned on the car and I looked up. And like when she put me in the back of the car, that's when his video kind of like shut off because she came and snatched him up.
Wow.
Like about 3.
And we didn't even hear about little brother being snatched up.
Those people have never been tased. It's pretty painful.
Yeah,
yes, it is. It's painful.
Like, it was raining.
But mind you, now
and so
I'm gonna go ahead and pause that here because in my reaction, if you go back and look at the previous video, if you haven't seen it already, I tried to put into words what it feels like to be tased. It does not feel good at all. Like I was saying, it's like a steady, nonstop hit. And your body literally can't do anything until that officer lets off the trigger. Now, once it lets off the trigger, you are exhausted because it feels like a muscle cramp. If you ever had a muscle cramp and you're trying to recover from that muscle cramp, that's what you're doing. So even with trying to put your hands behind your back, it's still kind of slow because your body is like, what was that? So again, I've never seen a person cry. Evidently, this young man, he could have been crying for several reasons at this point, but it's all making sense now. Some people cry, okay, to deal with the stress of things, the thought of different things, or the actual physical pain. Some people laugh. We all are built differently. We all react to stress and trauma differently. And just because something is seemingly to be common doesn't mean that it really is common. So let's go ahead because we still have a lot to cover. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to let it play.
What point did you find out they were charging you with trafficking fentanyl?
I didn't know I was getting charged with trafficking fentanyl until I actually went to court the next day because they wouldn't let me make no phone calls or nothing. I got to the jail. They just told them we gonna put them on no bond and don't put any charges on them until we come back and tell y'all what they actually put. But they was trying to say they was holding them for property to get me to the jail.
Alabama
But
justice system.
Arrested in Pickens County, other than, well, I wasn't arrested there, but the only thing that ever happened to me in Pickens County was a speeding over 25. And I was stopped by a state trooper then, that was like 2021.
Gotcha. And so they had searched your pockets, as your attorney said, there was no baggies, there was no substance. So was this fentanyl charge just made up?
Yeah, it had to be, because I didn't have any drugs on me at all. The only thing I had in my pocket was my gun and my phone.
Gotcha. So where do you go from here?
I really don't know. I just really want to I just want justice, honestly. Like, I want her to get what's really coming to her, like, on the legal side. Like, yeah.
So had you ever had any bad interactions with Reform or Pickens County? Any problems with law enforcement?
Like, that was my first time ever. I'm actually from the Pickens County area. Like, I usually be down there a lot. Yes, man. So,
Gotcha.
I never really had no bad blood.
This is almost like watching my son for real.
So how are you feeling mentally, physically?
I mean, like, I'm okay, but like when I'm alone, like I sit and think about it. Cause I mean, like, I try to act okay around the people around, but like at the same time,
Gotta be
like,
strong.
I'm really not just okay for real, for real. Cause like it really is traumatizing for real. Like I don't even know how to feel about the police no more. For real.
And so you didn't have any ill will towards police or anything? No reason?
I actually had like friends in law enforcement and stuff like that.
Has anyone apologized to you?
No.
Do you think you deserve one?
Yeah, I think I do. I would love a apology.
Absolutely, you do.
So
You
do
deserve a
think
lot
this was
more.
motivated?
I think it was like just abuse of authority, if anything. But like, yeah, they could pay
A lot more than that, my guy.
And so, you know, when people watch the video, oh, he should have complied. He should have done more to work with the police. Do you feel you pretty much did everything within your rights and everything?
Yes, ma'am. Because I was still kind of like, I was still respectful, like through the whole video, other than being tased. Like I was still, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all that. Like,
and when you watch her back and hear her voice, that's a lot of things, something that people have really zeroed in on. To say that it sounded like she was enjoying what she was doing.
That was the thing. Like she was getting a thrill out of it because, like, when she got me into the back of the police car and my brother's video went out, she was like, she was basically like, yeah, your bitch ass ain't so tough now. Like, she was like, we're gonna enjoy watching this video. Yeah, like she said, we're gonna enjoy going back watching this video.
If I make no mistake, that's a form of being a sadist, right? Whenever you just enjoy watching someone that look or appear to be of a powerful posture and everything, you see them break down and you get the enjoyment of seeing them in pain and misery and crying and so forth, and you get pleasure from their pain. If I make no mistake, I think that's sadism. And that's exactly what this female she fits the description of a person like that. And I love how this young man, I know I was talking over the video. He reminds me of my son so much. I can tell by just his demeanor, the way he's conducting himself during this interview. This young man is truly respectful. Someone has raised him very well. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And he's 24 years old. And this is why, to me, when it comes to me in my house, my children are taught to respect everybody, no matter who they are, because respect goes a long way. And even if someone met you for the first time, that stuff, people remember that. So when they see, you in trouble or something like this comes about, they be like, hey, you know what? I don't really buy all of that mess that you're saying that this young man or this young woman is doing, because I know, at least with my experience, that young man or that young woman is very respectful. So forth. And people will begin to stand up for you, and they begin to stand up with you. So there is a reason behind everything. And this is one of them, and we're starting to see it unfold right now.
What you could tell, did she have a body cam on? Was there a dash cam or anything?
Oh no, when I got into her car, it wasn't nothing plugged up. Like it wasn't even a computer in there, camera, nothing. Like it was just wires. And I don't really think she had a dash cam on either.
And
Wow.
Said that he has, since this has happened, heard from other people saying they had a bad incident with this particular officer. Are you hearing anything like that in the community?
I done heard like of a couple of incidents like where they had a guy dead in the back seat. I think he's been tased in the heart, like things like that. But like
Okay.
yeah, they said like she had a couple complaints, like to move departments a couple times.
See, I told
So
y'all
you
she
think
was
back
way
on
too
it,
comfortable in
you
handling
realize
this young
it
man.
escalated even further.
Yeah, I think like if it really wasn't a phone out there, I think it would have been farther. I feel like it could have been farther. Like
Yes.
my main concern was her like doing something to my brother when she had me detained.
Right.
So at what point did she realize he was recording
I don't think she ever knew.
at all?
Yeah, I don't think she ever knew. He was
Thank you,
recording.
God.
So you've got to go, you live in the area. Are you worried of any repercussions?
Not really, cause I stay up in Tuscaloosa area. Like my brother, like my aunt down, like really for that. Like I'm really worried about him, honestly. Yeah.
So you're gonna stay out of the area?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So if there wasn't a video, do you think you would still be sitting in jail?
Yeah, I think I still have
Definitely.
cause that's just Pickens County.
So when you walked in.
Did y'all
before,
see how
that's the
he
first
said
person
that
in
just
charge
then?
of $500,000 bond?
Yes, man. That's when I first heard all my charges. Like I never knew what I was going to get booked for when I went to jail. Like I had no charges at all. You just said it was blank with no bond.
And so you've never been a drug dealer. There'd be no reason for them to suspect any of this.
No,
They're just kidding.
yes, man. Like overall.
Like any other 20-year-old, right?
Yes, man.
Well, again, kind of big picture. I mean, a lot of people are gonna watch this and just like, especially a person of color, be afraid of police. What do we need to do to make this right in this country and quit having these incidents? It's like every week now.
I think we need to hold the people like up higher, more accountable. Like so they
There you
like
go.
you know. I feel like we should hold them more accountable for their actions. Cause they like I've seen like a lot of incidents where like the cop just get leave with pay, like or like maybe they may settle the settle the lawsuit, but the officer never get anything done to them.
No true
Like,
accountability.
yeah.
That's right. Intelligent young
Does this
man.
officer need to be fired?
Yes, I feel she needs to be fired.
And do you think it's an individual type problem, or is this like countywide?
I feel like it's countywide because like I think
It
they work
is.
together. Yeah, it's very it's countywide because they haven't even spoke on the situation yet at all.
Did you happen to see the coverage yesterday also about the football player?
Oh yes, man. I saw a little bit of it. Yes, ma'am.
You've seen that as well. So that was the same county, the same jail.
Wow.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Were you treated okay once you were in jail?
Yes, man. It was okay. Like only thing, like basically, like it was just hard for me to get a call home, like let my mom know I was okay.
And so kind of again, when you play this back in your mind, are you kind of even more afraid that this could have ended differently?
Yeah, like for real, like that video really traumatizing for real. Like I can't watch that video. Like I don't even like to really think about it. Honestly, like all the Facebook posts, stuff. Like I try to stay off social media.
I don't blame you.
Was there anything else you want to add? I mean, what would you say to this officer? She was here.
I don't think I say anything. So I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be around it.
That's a real reaction right there.
And
Yep.
again, do you think you're gonna look at police differently now? Do you ever have
Definitely.
another encounter?
Yeah, like I don't see like me personally, like I always been the type of person like don't stop until I feel safe. Like, and I'm actually be real big on that now. Like, I feel like they should actually pass a law to where people shouldn't have to stop for the police until they actually feel safe enough to like stop and let them do their job.
Getting to like a public place.
Yes, ma'am. And around people.
So
Yeah.
again, anything else you want to add?
No, ma'am.
Are you getting a lot of support from friends and family?
Yes, ma'am. Like they try to keep my head strong.
Okay. And what do you hope to come
Yeah.
in the lawsuit?
I just hope to get like justice for me, not just for me, for like the other families that had to go through things, and then like they start doing things more differently, honestly, in that area.
And so again, if there wasn't this videotape, what do you think situation you'd be in right now?
I'd be facing probably federal charges right now, for real, you know, trafficking and all that.
So do you think they just manufactured some evidence, or how did they come up with this fentanyl?
I really don't know where the fentanyl came from.
Because in the video, you can see you're searched and there's
Yeah.
nothing there.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
And she said she grabbed a 7-gram baggie out of my pocket, and I never had it or something at all.
All right, well, thank you again for talking to her.
And there we have it, guys. Right from the horse's mouth. First of all, bravo, Zulu. Great, great interview. This young man has his head on right. He's very respectful. He could have done this interview with a lot of emotion and hyperness and stuff. In most cases, people probably would have. And again, you would have every right to feel and to feel that way and to do these things. But it's just like how this young man said, it really is, unfortunately, a way of life down there in Alabama. And even in more than Alabama, it's just a way of life for Black people and people of color, period. I do want to add this before I wrap this up, guys. I want to give actually a very big shout out to 3 people that I admire in this field, because they are true journalists, true podcasters, and I get my cue from them a whole lot of times. First of all, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, Roland Martin, and big man Trey King. They were the top 3 guys that had broke out with more of these breaking news updates and everything, backed up by actual real news media. So I want to say that to them. And I want to once again thank you guys for watching. It's really nothing more to break down other outside of this, because we come to find out that all of these charges did not stick. Not one of them. Not one. So just to remind us what the charges were initially, one was the obstruction of governmental operations. That alone is a Class A misdemeanor. Resisting arrest, that's always a little add-on charge, to make things move along when when officers are making an arrest. Now initially they said marijuana, but I guess fentanyl sounds a little better. It's going to stick a lot more. Why? Because we're in this era now where everybody is fentanyl phobic. And then of course you have the ex-felon with possession of a firearm. That was the part that made the individual that know this young man like, okay, we know this is trumped up. We know it's trumped up because he's not a felon, never have been. And then of course the drug trafficking, because depending on how much of said drug, any drug, once it reaches a certain amount, you can actually be charged for trafficking, which is felony. These are all felon charges. So the fentanyl the ex-felon with the firearm and the drug trafficking, that's where that big $500K bond came from, was from those three major charges. They did not stick. So now what we are asking for is true and actual accountability coming out of the state of Alabama Bureau. So the 24th Judicial Circuit District Attorney, Mr. Andy Hamlin, you need to do your job, sir. You need to do your job. And just like in the words of Dr. Ritchie, you have a litany of charges you can bring forth to Miss Dana Elmore. I can't even call her a police officer, because why? Nothing about her said that she's a police officer. That's why. She do not deserve to wear that badge, and she definitely don't need to wear any other kind of uniform or any other position that places her in a position of power and authority, and especially having the power to take away someone's freedom. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank all my followers and subscribers for watching and staying in tune with us. And again, we'll keep those elephants exposed. So until next time, y'all take care. I'm Mr. TNTBS, CJ Jones, and this is Elephant Exposed. We'll catch you soon.